Welcome back to Decadorks. We're the 12-sided guys. We have Scott as Ornan.
At your service.
Sabrina as Sylvie.
Oh, hello.
Jordan as Mogram.
Oh, I love you guys.
Matt as Guy.
I'm bleeding out, guys.
And me, Paul, the hero of hard choices, master of moral dilemmas, and associate principal of pickles and predicaments. So, on that note, would you rather go leave a 5-star rating and a glowing review of our podcast, or eat a slug that somehow wound up in your bag of frozen raspberries?
Tough choice.
Principal Pickles. I'll take the slugs.
Principal Pickles, you sound vaguely like the Riddler.
Tough choice indeed.
The Quizzler. That's right, the
yes,
Quizzler.
yes. I have no idea who that even is. I am the associate principal of predicaments and pickles. Or of pickles and predicaments, sorry. Got those mixed up. Well, how about this one? Would you rather become a patron and get access to the wiki and the after show Your Neighbor's Potatoes, or eat a large blizzard and then immediately do 50 burpees?
Blizzard like the Dairy Queen ice cream, or like eat a snowstorm?
No, eat like the Dairy Queen ice cream. Wow. Which would you
the
choose?
Snowstorm.
Lastly, would you rather go to the 12-sided guy's shop and buy a shirt about getting pink eye, or actually get pink eye? Tough choices.
That one is a tough choice, clearly.
And I foresee more tough choices in our future.
Boo.
Anyway, if you had serious anxiety trying to choose between Triss and Yen, then me too, my guys, me too. And this podcast is for you. It's Chorus of the Forsaken, episode 72.
Triss.
Sabrina, I am also a Triss man.
That's fair. I mean, in the games at least. Like, I don't know. The show and the books are kind of odd, but in the game for sure.
In my view, the games are the only official canon, even over the books.
That's honestly very fair.
Well, welcome back to Via Severia. Actually, welcome back to the Feywild in the Court of Fen and Fog. Last time we were together, our heroes, Wilhelm and Associates, as well as Baldric the Black, who is the associate yet? Is he an associate member? Anyway,
you said junior
courtesan.
Junior associate or
Junior associate.
He's Sylvie's courtesan. There we go. Anyway, you confronted Glorpaglorp, the froghemoth god of the Frog Knights that you defeated earlier. After that fight was quite intense, it seems like somebody ended up getting gobbled up by Glorpaglorp. I believe it was Guy.
That was Guy.
Yes. You managed to bring him down relatively quickly. There were some shenanigans with some of the bushes on the sides where they started to burn throats of people who went to go hide in them. But you managed to defeat Glorpaglorp relatively quickly, and I should say pretty easily, actually. And you ventured into the rest of the courtyard out here in this castle of Fen and Fog. There were 3 towers. There was a tower to the north, a tower to the west, and a tower to the east. You sent an angelic knight, an angelic protector from Kelemvor that Mogram had summoned up to investigate the upper windows of these towers. And as she came back down, she told you that it appears that the insides are bigger than the outside of these towers. They don't make sense geometrically. And
the Tower of Holding.
Exactly. You discovered that the 2 towers, the north one and the west one, both had locks on them, and the eastern one was protected by a wall of fire. Real quick, how did you guys get rid of
We dispelled the fire.
Oh, okay, yeah, you guys dispelled the magic of the fire blocking the eastern tower, guessing that must be Violet's tower. And you ventured in. When you went inside, you saw basically the bedroom of a a queen. This was like a royal palace, except for everything was scaled larger for somebody more like 10 feet tall. As you continued up the tower, you came out into a large space. There were torches lit, there were arrow slits along the walls, and as you went along this hallway, you saw 2 more staircases going back down, and they were both draped off with black curtains, and you imagine, oh, those must lead back down into the other 2 towers. And when you looked to the right, you saw a beautiful woman, 10 feet tall. It took a little bit of perception to notice that her teeth were a little too long. Her fingernails were a little too claw-like. You began talking with her and discovered that she is Violet, the surviving swamp sister. And here in the Court of Fen Fog, she is Princess Violet, this beautiful monarch of this Fey court. She informed you that there's also this crystalline apparatus behind her with power arcing back and forth. And she informed you that in order to rescue your friends, that you would have to get through her. But as the fight ensued and people were attacked by her and she attacked her in turn, she informed you that only one of your friends, Jib Jab or Annalise, would be able to be rescued if you can get past her. We went through one.
And after discussing it, we're a little worried that it's a Batman situation where we choose one and they do the opposite.
It's true. We're going to end up with Harvey Dent.
Yes, with only half of a face. We went through one whole round of combat. Where we stand now, Guy is on the floor, bleeding out. Princess Violet has taken somewhere around 90 hit points worth of damage and is still standing strong. We are in this room. It has, in each of the corners, there is like this large 50 foot by 50 foot pool of swamp water. And you guys are standing on, there's this thick, like 20 foot wide walkway going down the middle in both directions, forming a plus sign. And you are currently fighting in the middle of this intersection of walkways. Magram, Baldric, and Sylvie are back by the entrance. Ornan and Guy are up confronting Princess Violet along with this angelic guardian of Kellamvor.
Ornan's kind of pulling all the weight right now. Guy's not really doing a lot of confronting.
You took some damage.
Yeah.
Yes, I took some damage.
Yes, he is bleeding out. That's where we're starting right now. We are picking right back up at the top of the initiative. Sylvie with initiative 25. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna cast this summon dragon.
Oh, man.
You are going to summon a dragon.
You call forth a dragon spirit. It manifests with a draconic spirit stat block.
Please tell me it still looks like a Battletoads dragon.
Oh, hell yeah. Dragoon.
Well, how big how big is it? Is it large?
It says large.
Yeah, draconic spirit, large dragon, neutral.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like right under it. I see it now.
Okay,
Sorry.
let me pull up a dragon. I do not have that same token anymore. But we have this dragon that pops up. Where do you want to put this dragon?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it pretty closer to the. There we go. The princess.
Okay.
Yeah, I want it in her threat range, and can I make an attack with it? What do we do here? Does it go with me? It shares my initiative count. Takes its turns immediately after mine. So.
Okay, I'm going to give you control of this dragon as well.
That's dangerous. That's way too much power for Sabrina to have, I think.
So Sylvie is going to do that. That's all she's going to do, but she's going to kind of step up a little bit towards the princess, just to not be as crowded around Magram and Baldric.
Okay.
And then I guess it's my dragon's turn.
All right.
So the spirit makes a number of rend attacks equal to half the spell's level, so that's 2, and uses its breath weapon.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Hit is...
That's got to be the damage.
What is this? Let's see. It says hit is 1d6 plus 4 plus the spell's level piercing damage.
Okay,
Cool. Well, that was a 10 to attack. So
that will miss. The first one will miss.
Okay,
So what's the
let's
second claw attack
try
look like?
that again. Nice. Okay, so that one was a 26, so that should do it.
26. Let's see how much damage you deal.
Okay, and then that is the 1d6 plus 4, 7, and then
Plus 5
plus
more for the
5
spell level.
is 12.
Okay. Nice.
And then it does its breath weapon, which is a dexterity saving throw. DC equals my spell save DC, which I think is 12.
And what is it?
16,
Dexterity
looks like
saving
16.
throw? Dexterity saving throw is going to be 8 plus 1. That's going to be a 9
Nice.
save and fail, and then succeed anyway.
Ah, damn it.
Boo. Well, that's the second time. That's the second. We burned through 2 legendary resistances.
All right,
Didn't we?
so
Or
I think that's the first. That's the first.
Oh, that's right, because she passed the polymorph one,
does it
didn't
still
she?
do half damage? Does it still do 3 damage?
I think so.
Nice. All right, we'll take that.
She will. All right. That's going to bring us now to Guy. Guy, I need you to make a death saving throw.
Okay, let's do this. That was an 18. Okay, that's one success.
Oh, man.
All right, one success. All right, and that is going to bring us now to initiative 20 and the layer action.
Oh, man.
All right. Remember, layer actions are not as great as legendary actions.
But if they do damage in the area, I can't make a dex save. I will take damage. I will probably get a fail. But we'll see what she has.
Yeah, let's see what ends up happening. We are going to... right in front of her,
Come at me.
this whole square, bloop,
Oh, jeez.
suddenly mossy vines and tangling briars and things come up and they start wrapping around everybody. What I need is Sylvie, Ornan, and Guy. You all are within this spell of entangle. I need everyone to make a strength saving throw.
I failed.
You failed. Difficulty 17.
Ornan got an 18.
Oh, you are not restrained, but it is difficult terrain.
Oh my gosh, Sylvie rolled a 19. Actually, I think I rolled a 20 and got it for 19.
Yeah, he rolled a nat 20.
Hell yeah.
Nice! Yay!
I'm strong as hell.
That's awesome.
So the only one who is restrained is the one who's also unconscious, and that is the layer action. But that brings us now to Princess Violet's actual turn. There is a dragon to the right. There is an angel to the left. There is Ornan straight ahead. A little further on is
Guy
Here I
is
am,
stuck in the middle with you.
middle with you.
yes. Yes. All right. Here we go for the attack. Ornan.
At your service.
Princess Violet, she spreads her arms wide. You see her fingernails grow a little bit longer. You see muscles bulging along her forearms and her biceps, and she reaches in towards you to try to grab you in a bear hug.
Oh,
Ornan, get your
Oh
wrench
my
down.
God.
You're going to get it caught.
that's a nat 20.
That is 100% a nat 20. She grabs you, and she does...
I'm going to give her crazy eyes. Oh, wait, no, I've already reacted. I can't react again, I think.
That is going to be 34 plus 5, 39 bludgeoning damage, and
Ow.
you
Oh my gosh.
are grappled.
That's messed up, yo.
I'm going to subtract 4 to turn to 35.
To be
Okay.
fair, though, this is nothing new for Ornan. He's been in this position with a giant woman before.
I am ready to start climbing.
Here's the deal with this attack.
Did you say
with
I'm
this
grappled?
attack, you are grappled, and with this attack, as far as legendary actions go, she has 2 legendary actions. She can either claw at you, or she can burn all 3 of her legendary actions to do this crushing hug. again. And since she's already got you, she does not have to hit again.
Oh,
And since she's already got
Oh
you,
my gosh.
she cannot use any other attacks. So, as her legendary actions, she has to crushing hug you again, which is 9d6 plus 5 bludgeoning damage. The only good
She
news.
just likes you. Don't worry about it.
The only good news at this point is that it looks like she is bloodied.
Wait, what? Quick point. She rolled in that 20. Did you double the damage?
I
Oh, dear.
did not double the damage. Okay, that is actually 68 plus 5. That is
Jeez.
73
That's
damage.
dope right there.
Oh man.
Hey.
Ornan.
Teacher.
No, somebody.
No,
one of
no.
our listeners was going to call it. They were going to
You,
call
you
it
know
out.
they
I
were.
know.
You know they were. You know they were.
We're good. We're good. I took 73 minus 4. I took 69 damage. I'm ready.
Oh, that's a good number.
Nice.
That's a good number.
As far as
Nice.
damage goes. Nice.
All right. And then what she is going to do while she's grappling you, she is going to.
Her movement is slowed by 10 from my hit from last round.
Oh, right. And she's only got a 30-foot movement anyway. No, she got 40 feet. So she's got a 30-foot movement. 20, 10, 15, 20, 25. Here's the deal. The dragon gets an attack of opportunity, as does the angel, as Princess Violet scoops up Ornan and moves back 30 feet and jumps into one of these big pools of swamp water.
Hey, give him back. The dragon rolled a 18.
That will hit.
So that's 13.
And
Nice.
the angel got a nat 20 for a 29.
Oh,
hell
my
yeah.
goodness. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. So let's roll some damage for the angel.
So I'll roll it once, and then I'll roll just an extra D10. And then we
Okay.
need to add an extra 5 radiant damage to whatever the outcome is here.
Okay.
So 11 plus 5 is 16, and then another D10 for another 5, so 21 damage. And
Wow.
as this is happening, well, I don't know if this would proc. So it has the ability, right, where it gives temporary hit points whenever it makes an attack.
Yes.
I don't know if that counts for the reaction attack though.
I think it does. I think it would.
Okay, well then
Are you going to give
we're
some
gonna-
to Ornan?
to Ornan? Yeah, we're going to give him 5 temp HP.
Oh, hey, you
Okay.
rolled more than 1 this time.
Hey, I'll take it.
Look at that.
All right. That is Princess Violet's turn. She does now have her legendary actions back. So, Ornan, you are grappled. You are not restrained. The difficulty to escape, it's a DC 15 to escape.
But I like to climb the giant ladies. I'm going to stay right here.
You are also underwater. So underwater fighting now
Okay.
holds as well. I think that means that like you have disadvantage to attack with or is it disadvantage with a bludgeoning or a slashing weapon?
Yes,
Is that how
but I do
underwater
have
combat?
the spear.
Oh, yes, you do.
The needler, whatever it was called.
The spear of the master chef.
That's right. So I'm gonna attack with that. So the first one is a 21 to hit
That'll hit.
for 10 piercing damage.
Okay.
The second one is a 16 to hit. That probably misses.
That will miss.
I am going to spin the
What does the sap thing do again?
sap. Makes it so that they have disadvantage on their next attack.
Oh, got it. Okay, cool.
Do you have that? Do you have that weapon mastery prepared?
So as I have tactical master, I always have sap, push, and
Oh.
slow.
Okay, great.
But she'll hit me automatically because I'm grappled.
Unless you can bring her down or get away.
So I am gonna spin the shaft,
Yep.
and here comes the next one. A 28 to hit.
That'll hit.
I rolled 1, so I got 9 damage that time.
Oh,
This time
I was looking at your two-handed damage, which was 14.
I'm gonna slap her with my offhand and do the skeletal brand. So she'll need to make a
Okay.
DC 15 strength save.
Okay. That's a failure, but she passes. Burns her second resistance.
Okay, and she'll take 6 fire damage from that.
Okay.
And then
She's looking real rough. Because she's fully submerged, she will take only half damage for that, so that's gonna be an extra 2 damage.
Cool.
But the poo-poo
3
PV
damage.
water should catch on fire because it's oily, and I guess
That's right.
I guess it's just swamp water.
it is
Never
3
mind,
damage.
Damn it.
You know, swamps are notorious for having all kinds of flammable methane gases and stuff. There's lots of rotting stuff in here.
Exactly.
So she has taken now 159 damage.
My last hit with the spear is a 20 to hit for 12 damage. I'm waiting for the reaction from Paul, but I didn't get it. And that's
No, you're getting a
bad.
reaction from Matt.
Okay.
We're so close.
171 damage has been dealt.
Okay,
Oh my gosh.
I am going to. This is probably not. Okay, I am gonna risk it. I'm gonna summon the Flame of Ethos, and so Ornan starts like DBZ glowing purple and like shouts at the top of his lungs, is like charging up. And now I am resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
Okay.
Might not be
nice.
enough to save me, but we'll see.
Oh, all right. Ornan, is that your whole turn?
That's my turn.
Okay. All right. Princess Violet looks down at you and she says, "Valiant effort, but not enough," as she squeezes and deals 32-37 halved to 18 bludgeoning damage,
And then -4,
and then -4.
so 14 damage.
14 oh my god. Yes.
Ornan's
14
so
damage.
strong.
I'm still standing.
Oh my
Oh my goodness.
What a bad bitch. Oh my gosh.
That hurt.
Okay. Oh, I thought she had you. All right. That brings us now to
I've at
Magram.
least got 4 left.
Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Wait, was that all of her legendary actions too? All 3 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
To do that crushing hug, it's all 3.
Yes.
She can either claw you 3 times, or she can do 1 crushing hug.
That's crazy. You withstood that like a boss, Ornan. We're gonna have to celebrate later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I
you
have
did.
to put some of
cannot
my
believe that.
bones back in place.
Putting on
Molded.
that the glow of ethos or whatever you call that was clutch. Okay. All right, Magram, it is your turn. You can see in front of you there is this mass of like weeds and briars that you know is going to slow you down if you try to move through it, but it looks like you can move around it.
Magram, like, he also DBZ style starts to kind of glow this flame. Wow, it's late, guys. He starts to glow a faint blue, and he'll walk 5.
Actually, it should be that big.
50, okay. So he'll walk, I guess 10, 20, 30 feet while glowing blue, and Sylvie and Guy will be in his aura of the astral walk of radiating peace,
I love this one.
and will be healed for
More than 1 point?
13.
Ooh.
Yeah, 13 healing points. That's my action, but then for my
Nice.
bonus action, I'm going to use my last 2nd level slot and shoot a 2nd level adrenaline shot and numbing agent dart at Ornan and heal him
Right in the tushy.
for 17 points.
Whoa, that's huge. Holy cow.
Man.
Oh my
You
goodness.
just like quadrupled his hit points.
Yeah, actually.
Usually the hypodermic needles go like in the cheek, not like a suppository, but
Yes.
Oh, well, let me take it out then.
Whatever works.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Magram's going to yell to the angel and say, "Finish this." And she's going to fly over this way
Okay.
and make a couple of attacks as part of her action. I'll just roll her attacks first and then we'll do damage. So first one is a 15 to hit,
That'll miss.
and then the next one is an 18 to hit.
That will hit.
Yes. Okay. And she will do minimum damage. Add 5 to that because of the radiant damage.
oh man.
So 9 damage. And then I'm guessing all of your temp HP has gone away again. And so she'll do her temporary HP kind of blessing to you, Ornan, again for 4 more temp HP.
I'll take it. It was the temp HP that saved me, so.
And as she strikes Princess Violet,
It was the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that saved me.
dealing 9 damage, taking Princess Violet to 180 damage.
Wow.
What does that look like as she lets go of Ornan?
I think, okay, so she's using a massive 2-handed greatsword, so she kind of flies over there and then, makes one swipe, misses, and then comes around and just buries this sword into her side with like a massive chopping cut from the side.
And we are going to cue victory music.
Wait, we still gotta save our friends, guys.
The plant growth, the briars and everything, they disappear. They kind of melt away and turn to smoke. Princess Violet's body floats up to the top of the swamp water, as does... Well, Ornan doesn't really float because he's wearing plate armor. But as you are watching, you see Princess Violet's body begins to shrivel and kind of break apart as it quickly rots away and disappears into the muck of this swamp water.
Okay. So looking around, we know that the towers of her sisters were affected by their death. What is this? Is this throne room changing at all after her death?
You see that as you kind of are looking around the room, you don't see it happen, but when you look back at the throne at the north end of the room, when you look back at it, there is a black cloth covering it.
Oh, creepy.
Wait, is that where the electric was coming from?
The electric is coming from right behind the throne. So just to describe again, at the north end of this room, there is this platform that has a throne that is now covered with a black cloth. And behind it, there is this metal apparatus holding a large crystal. And then there are these 2 small crystal clusters on either side. And there is electricity or energy arcing from the 2 clusters into that central, tall, big crystal. And that is what you see here in the north end of this room.
So I'm wondering if you'd allow Margrim to do like an Arcana check to see if he might be able to think of what might happen now that she's dead and her spells are failing. Like what may happen to people who maybe were banished or being housed in like, an extraplanar prison or anything like that.
Well, go ahead and make an Arcana check. I see that you already did.
I did. I can roll it again, though.
No, you're fine. You are 100% fine. I have difficulty.
Please don't make him re-roll.
Okay.
Nope, you don't need to re-roll. That's great. You did great.
Okay, so I got a 29.
Okay. All right, so here is what you recognize. First off, you don't understand the Feywild except for the little bit that you've been here. So you know that things are unpredictable. You know that you guys were all looking around, and as you look back at that throne, you saw the black cloth. There is a very real possibility that you were looking at that throne and did not see a black cloth, but Guy looked back and it was there, and it took you looking away and looking back before the black cloth appeared for you. That is a very real possibility. This place is weird, okay? There are these 4 corners of this room that are basically these large pools of swamp water. And you see that this crystalline apparatus behind the throne is arcing energy, the tall crystal in the middle. Well, first off, you asked what would happen to the tower. The tower, you assume, will start to decay and get dusty and abandoned feeling, just like the other areas of the castle that you saw, where the quick peek you took in one of the towers after you picked the lock. So you assume that's probably what's going to happen now to the entirety of the castle. Will it crumble? Who knows? But looking at this crystal apparatus has not changed. It is there. It is pulsing energy. Now, as far as releasing your friends with an Arcana of 29, here is what I will tell you. You spend some time looking at this machinery. What is everybody else doing while Margrim is like investigating this apparatus? Because this is going to be the crux of it. So what is everybody else going to be doing?
Ornan is flailing like Augustus Gloop, trying to see if there's anything of value on the orchid's body.
Violet's body has become one with the swamp water. It is gone.
And then he's still like Augustus Gloop trying to swim around, but currents are taking him everywhere.
Guy will go ahead and say, "Hey, Ornan, I believe in you," and give you some bardic inspiration if you need it.
Oh, perfect. Ornan will make his way out of the water.
Sylvie, I believe in you too.
Actually, make an investigation check. Make an investigation check, Ornan, as you are swimming around looking for something.
Ornan got a 10 investigation. It's hard to see in this water.
It is very hard to see. Too much poo poo pee pee. So you climb out. You haven't found anything. Okay, Sylvie, what were you doing?
Sylvie was kind of just investigating the electric machinery with Wagram, and then maybe also like the area around the throne, just seeing if she could find anything good while he's looking at that.
Okay. It looks like this room is fairly... the Feywild is interesting. It's like the impression that you get is it's almost like people here eat because it's enjoyable and not because it's necessary, right? It's like the things that you would need or that you would value in the material plane are not necessarily things you would need or value here. It's just the whole concept of needs and wants is just so foreign and alien here. You don't see anything around. Like you don't see like a scepter. There's no treasure chest or anything like that. It's basically an empty room besides these 3 chairs and this crystal apparatus, as well as these like candle holders that are lighting up the room. Magram. This is what you notice with your 29 Arcana, and Sylvie's there to help out as well. The crystal, this apparatus, this is some sort of machine or Fey technology or something that has taken the essence of your friends. You look at this, you walk around it, you recognize the essence of Annalise is in this tall crystal.
Oh, that's not ideal.
You also recognize the essence of Jib-Jab is in this tall crystal. They are both here together. The power that Jib-Jab had, the curse, the power, whatever you want to call it, let's see how to explain this. With your 29 Arcana, you recognize this machine filtered the curse from the essence. The crystal contains Annalise and Jib-Jab. The power of the curse that Jib-Jab had is no longer here. It is now absorbed by the Court of Fen and Fog.
Can we tell if that means it's like still existing, or is it like gone now because we killed the Court of Fen and Fog?
It seems like the Court of Fen and Fog is something more eternal than Violet, Orchid, or Daisy.
I was worried about that.
So there is some power now in the Court of Fen and Fog here in the Feywild that has been augmented by Jib-Jab's curse. And there's more to learn, but you had something you wanted to ask, Magram?
I was going to say, sounds like somebody else's problem now. Let's go.
As you are also looking around and kind of investigating, you see these 2 clusters of crystals, and as you see that they're kind of on either side, you follow the track of electricity of power going from the tall crystal to this crystal cluster, and your eyes naturally make a line that would follow from the top of the tall crystal where the energy starts down into the crystal cluster, and then further down, which will go into the water. And as you're peering over the side there on the right side, you see what looks like a shape, like the shape of, like, it's cloudy and dark, but you see like the shadow of a shape of a body. And as you go to the left side to see if it's the same on the other side, you see nothing. Now, you have an Arcana of 29. So I'm kind of giving you things that maybe you'd had to like figure out more on your own. But let's just play it from there. That's the information you have right now. There is a body in the water on the right, which is the same pool that Violet disintegrated into.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout that out to the group and say, I kind of relay to them like the essence of Annalise and Jib-Jab is in the crystal here. Somehow she was able to extract the curse from Jib-Jab, and now that is melded with whatever power or force is here within the Court of Fen Fog. But look over here, there is some sort of a form, some body here in the water. Perhaps we could extract it.
Yeah, didn't we knock the hag into the water?
I don't believe this is hers.
I thought we saw her disintegrate.
Yeah, Ornan would know that. Yeah, she disintegrated. She's a sloopy, gross mess at this point.
Okay.
She's gone.
I've still got a little of her in my hair. I'm trying to get it out.
Okay, I'll swim down and see if I can see who it is. This whole crystal apparatus thing looks janky as hell, and I'm afraid to move anything. So if I can go down and get a closer look, determine if this is Jib-Jab or Annalise or something else completely, I'll come back up, but I'll try not to disturb the body until we decide what to do, okay?
Be careful.
Okay. All right, you're jumping in.
Don't worry, I always use protection. I'll swim down and I'll try to figure out if I can get close enough to see who it is. I know it's murky and gross down there, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, you swim down to where Mogram was pointing, and it doesn't take long. The water's about 10 feet deep, but you get down to the bottom and your hand brushes against metal, and you can feel links of chainmail. And as you feel along this body, you get towards the head, and you're looking underwater. It's hard to see, but you see the beautiful face of Annalise. She appears to, sure, her eyes are closed.
Mm-hmm.
If she wasn't underwater, you would think that she looks like she's sleeping.
Okay, I'll pop back up and I'll let everybody know. She has Annalise chained down here underneath the water.
Oh, sorry. She's not chained. She's wearing chainmail. Sorry. Yeah.
Annalise is down here underneath the water, still in her armor. She seems to be asleep, not dead from what I could tell.
Let's pull her up. Let's see if we can bring her back now.
Okay.
You don't think that that's going to be a dangerous situation with what Violet said?
If it comes to choosing between Annalise and Jib-Jab, we're going with Annalise, right?
Oh,
that's not even a
course.
question. Okay.
Especially
all right.
since Jib-Jab's been put at rest. It's terrible as their power is to have out and about. At least they don't have to suffer it.
Right. And hopefully this power stays here in this court and not, finding its way back into Cladvina.
Yeah, I can't imagine how it would follow us around. That would be crazy. Like through our dreams or something.
Well, Mogram, we're going to go jump back to your 29 Arcana check. Now that you see that is Annalise's body, it doesn't take long for you to figure out, okay, the body on the right, in the right pool is Annalise's body. The body in the left pool would have been Jib-Jab's body. But as you start thinking about it, there's a very real possibility that when Jib-Jab's essence was taken out of their body, that the only thing that the body, the essence and the curse being taken from their body, there was nothing to hold their body together anymore because it was so ancient, and it probably basically did what Violet's body did and just kind of disintegrated.
Aw, rest in peace, Jib-Jab.
Well, that's the other thing, Mogram. Looking at this apparatus, there are two essences in here. You are fairly certain you can figure out how to operate it where you can pick which essence to put back into Annalise's body.
Oh, does this look like that weird tub of souls from the Scooby-Doo movie?
Ooh. But also, we're not body snatching it. I don't like Annalise. I am the least big Annalise fan, but you're not body snatching Annalise and putting Jib-Jab through that horror.
That's right. How dare you suggest that, Mogram?
Baldric says, while I agree, but it would be interesting to know what Jib-Jab knows.
Well, and it'd be interesting to know what the inside of my stomach looks like. I'm not going to necessarily turn myself inside out.
You can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a butcher's ass or whatever.
Nice.
Said that.
Yes.
Ornan,
Baldric says, I agree. Annalise is the priority. However, I'm just saying that this mystery we're trying to solve.
All right, we don't need any devil's advocates in the Feywild here, bud.
He's like, you know what? You're right, Sylvie. I apologize. And he comes over and tries to give you a kiss.
oh
No,
man,
Baldric, I understand what you're saying, but if we get Annalise, then we also have a potential conversation with Peter. I think that James is beyond reason and may not have the most accurate answers, and we have no idea where Spritz may actually be. So Peter might be the actual next best option for real answers to what's going on.
Ornan walks over to the other pool and says, "What if we had the body of Jib Jab? Could you do some sort of magic juju and ask him some questions after they're dead and all?"
I have seen incantations and rituals that might allow for something like that, but I would need time to be able to study.
But if you could find any like pieces of them, like an intact skull, could we take that with us?
We gotta drain the swamp to find the skulls.
Ornan's looking in the pool on the left side of the throne, just as a wild guess.
Make
And
an
meanwhile,
investigation
while
check.
that's happening, Guy will have jumped back in the other side and will be pulling up Annalise's body.
Ornan got a 7.
At least for what I know, I would need like the full skull, like the whole thing.
Guy, you go down, you start pulling up Annalise's body. Everyone watching the crystal apparatus, you see the crystal cluster on the right side begin to dim. Magram, you think that's a bad sign.
Okay, all right. We're going to need to act quickly. I think we have to just make a decision. I vote to bring back Annalise. I can't imagine leaving her in whatever purgatory this is.
I second that.
Baldric says, I third it.
Good choice, Baldric.
Wait, is it a bad sign that I'm bringing up the body? Like if I bring up the body,
Magram, you recognize that the connection to this crystal cluster is getting less as the body is lifted up out of the water, or as the body comes up off the bottom of this pool.
Quick, somebody stop me.
Yeah, stop what you're doing for a second, Guy. Let's go ahead and enact the device now and see if we can bring her back. Be ready. She may come to life any moment now and be submerged in water.
I'll be down in the water with my head above, watching, see what happens.
Okay. Magram, you put your hands on the machine. You feel the power coursing through it, and you just, with your 29 Arcana, you are able to figure out how to connect lines and direct power from the crystal back out to the crystal cluster. And Guy, you are swimming next to Annalise as her eyes flare open. She takes a big gulp of water as she is trying to figure out where she's at, and she begins to drown.
I pull her out of the water.
This is just like the Ort bow.
I get her up to the surface, and it looks like Ornan is there to help pull her back up onto the dry ground. She
comes up and climbs up onto the surface. She starts hacking up water. You have Annalise here on the ground here next to Magram. Just FYI, she has 2 levels of exhaustion. She's like, What happened?
You're safe. We found you. You're safe. We rescued you from the Swamp Sisters. They had you underwater.
I remember the undead in Cladvina. And I remember Jib Jab.
That's been dealt with.
What does the machine look like? Do we see Jib Jab's spirit vibing? Is it gone?
You see that now the crystal the main crystal appears to be less dim, but as you look at it, it seems like it's more like the flickering of the power seems to be a little bit more harmonious. The 2 crystal clusters on either side, power stops coursing back and forth between the one on the right, and now it's only going to the one on the left. But the crystal itself, the large crystal that housed the essence of Jib Jab as well as Annalise until recently, it is now more of a solid color. It appears that, yes, Jib Jab is still in there.
I think their body must be in the water here, but I couldn't find it.
So now the question, Mogam, that you have is, if you were to release the essence of Jib Jab out into the ether, like that's kind of where you're at. There's not much else to do.
I think Mogram is pondering that, because normally the souls would find their way to kind of the courts of Kelemvor, basically. I think while the angel is here, maybe Mogram would ask and say, if I release this soul, do you know if it will find its way to the halls of Kelemvor, to the city of judgment? I'm not sure if she may know, but
the answer she gives you is, under normal circumstances, yes. However, these are far from normal. Also, something that the angel does not know that you guys do know is that the spirit of Jingles did not go anywhere except for into the basement beneath the Temple of Kelemvor in Oak Road.
Maybe the angel could guide Jib Jab back to Kelemvor? And you're already going there anyway, right?
Is that possible?
She says, yes, I can, unless something else has a hold. Unless something else has a hold on Jib Jab's spirit, I should be able to escort them to Kelemvor's hall.
Well, perhaps I should release Jib Jab's spirit and we see what happens.
Before you do that, I'm going to try something. And Guy's going to cast Locate Object and look, like, specifically looking for Jib Jab's bones.
Jib Jab goop.
Jib Jab's bones?
Looking for Jib Jab's bones. I would say corpse, but if they've been like disintegrating in the bog, then maybe I don't know. Maybe they're mummified. I don't know. But just something to do with the object that is now Jib Jab's body.
With detect object, you detect that there is some small piece of Jib Jab's bones still in the water.
All right,
but nothing super substantial. We're talking maybe like an ankle bone or like a metatarsal or something like that.
I'm going to say, wait for it. Paul's going to use the big word.
Probably something like the scaphoid or the lunate of the wrist or something like that.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe triquitrum.
I will jump in the water.
More like just the piece-of-form.
Jeez. Okay. Sorry, I said anything. I'm going to jump in the water. I'll be like treading water over the top of it, and I'll let everybody know. I think I found what small piece of Jib Jab may still remain here physically. It's just below me, floating in the somewhere in this water. But I have a good idea of where it is.
Yeah, you follow the feeling of the detect object and you start digging through the bottom of this pool. And while this is like a stone castle structure, the bottom of this pool is muck and mud and like decaying like branches and leaves. It feels like the bottom of a swamp. But you manage to dig through underneath some leaves and underneath some of this muck, and you find what looks like a small vertebrae.
Before he brings that up, does it change the spirit, the lamp again, like it did when we brought Annalise up?
As he starts to bring it up, you do see that the connection to the left side crystals is now lessened as well.
And I would have been careful about that too. I would have found it, and then I would have brought it up a little bit, and then left it there and come back up to see what everybody thinks I should do with it.
I don't know if it'll be much use, Mogram.
It would be beyond my ability, but perhaps somebody could use this.
Well, Annalise speaks up and she says, "To do what? To bring them back to life?"
No, but to speak with them.
I think they need a mouth.
I don't know. It might be useful to have something connected to them, though. Like,
not if it means keeping their spirit. Whatever. I mean, yeah.
Release their spirit. That's fine. I just think it might be useful to have a piece of this, dream team member.
Whatever kind of trophy you want, Guy. It's all
not
good.
Not a trophy.
It's all good. So he takes a couple steps back.
Sylvie, not a trophy, more like a relic.
It probably is actually kind of ancient, and they are kind of a big deal, probably. So
exactly. That's why I think it might be. If not, I'm not really a religious guy. I don't really know much about the magic that I use, but oftentimes there's something some power that comes with these kind of ancient body pieces of saints and important figures.
Well, I mean, we could bring it along, but from my understanding, at least the rituals that I'm familiar with, this would not be, there's not much that we could do to commune with them. But I will say this, if there is no means for us to be able to communicate with Jib Jab, there are yet others that exist in this world, and something tells me that we will encounter them before too long.
Agreed. Do what you're going to do with their soul, and I'll retrieve the bone after, and then we can get out of here and get home. If nothing else, we can at least lay Jib Jab's last remaining remains to rest where they actually lived.
Not sure we fully know where that is, but
The
at
wild.
least maybe someplace nicer than the swamp.
Right, exactly. I mean, I'm thinking Via Severia as opposed to the Feywild. We're all in agreement. Do what you're going to do, Mogram.
Okay. I guess stand back. And Mogram will go ahead and activate whatever this crystal device is to release the soul of Jib Jab.
I think you just smash
as
it.
you activate the device and you see the power, the energy starts arcing like mad, and then the crystal gets really, really bright. There is this almost like blinding light. You all have to kind of avert your eyes and turn away, and then there's this pop. And as you look back, the top of the crystal has exploded, not doing any damage to anybody, but it's like half the crystal, and then this just jagged top. The crystal has lost any potential for power, and it's not glowing anymore. There is no more electricity or power or any kind of arcane energy here in the system. You have effectively shut it down and released whatever was still being trapped in the crystal. Just a reminder, you did figure out that the curse, the gift of Jib Jab, that is gone. That is now absorbed by the Court of Fen Fog, but the essences that were trapped in there, specifically Jib Jab, is not in there anymore.
Okay, I'll come back up with the bone. Come back up on dry land.
The angel comes over to you, Mogram, and she says, I sensed a presence, and yet something took it. Their spirit was obligated somewhere else.
Well, thank you, Your Holiness.
Not a very good guide.
She looks at you and says, excuse me?
Well, it was a really good sword move. You did kill that hag, so what makes up for it? It's all good.
She's like, she turns back to you, Mogram. She says, next time you need help, call somebody else.
I'll make note of you when your soul needs ushering to the great beyond.
Oh, gosh.
Well, we thank you, Your Holiness, for this, for your assistance.
She kind of like looks around. She's like, well, I got like 20 more minutes.
You'd hang out with my dragon.
Annalise comes over to Ornan. You guys have been doing this, like all this took probably about 40 or 50 minutes to like figure all this stuff out. So the dragon as well as the angel are just about to disappear anyway. But Annalise does come over to you all, but she starts with Ornan because he's closest. And she just says, Ornan, you guys, you came for me.
Well, of course.
Thank you so much.
Why wouldn't we? You'd have come for me, I'd hope.
You're an associate.
I think we might have to offer you a salary.
I did get a cut from the job we did in Martin's Rest. So, I mean, I'm part of the team. But I think it would have been easier to have cut your losses and consider the situation solved, but you didn't, and you came for me, and for that I thank you. I am forever in your debt.
To be fair, we also came for Jib Jab, you know. It's not just you. You're not that special.
Hey, Sylvie, quiet.
She says, but you chose me over them, and I recognize that.
That's true. We did.
And remember that one day when you're the Pope.
That's right. I forgot. Oh gosh, I am looking for some tokens and I can't seem to find them.
Is it a Annalise token wearing the Pope's mitre?
No. You guys have been in here talking. Oh, you wanted to talk to Annalise. Just real quick, as you go to talk to Annalise, Guy, you see two figures enter the throne room. You see these two satyrs. You see Caperion and Fenwick. They kind of are stepping in timidly, looking around. Okay, you wanted to talk to Annalise, Guy.
Well, I thought she was coming by to say something to all of us, but it's okay.
Oh, she was going to say something to Orna, and then you guys all kind of joined in the conversation. So, yeah, she's just kind of resting.
Okay, I was waiting my turn. Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
Are you waiting your turn? Okay, she comes over. She says, "And you, Guy, thank you so much. You're my favorite."
I knew it. Anyway.
I take back what I said about the salary.
All right. Yeah, you guys see Caperion and Fenwick, these two satyrs that you had met earlier on the island having a feast with Manhogany and Ashenly. They have entered into the throne room. They are looking around.
Ornan will stand up tiredly and walk towards them. Caperion, Fenwick! So good to see you. In Sylvan.
Oh, okay. Fenwick speaks up and he says, yes, it is good to see you too. Tell me what happened here to the court.
Well, we killed the lady. We killed the lady because she stole our friend. This is our friend. See, we saved her. Now I think we'll be on our way.
As they say where we're from, ding dong, the witch is dead.
Well, that's great. So you'll be leaving the court?
That's the plan. Why are you going to take over as Fen and Fog?
Insight checks.
All right.
Well, being that at this point, I think Ornan's the only one who can understand what they're saying. I don't know what the rest of us can get from it.
Okay,
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, everyone else can make insight checks with disadvantage because you can see their body language at least.
Okay.
All right, so we got a 7 then.
Margrim got a 22.
Guy rolled 2 1s, so he got a 6.
Ornan rolled a 10, but I'm going to use one of the new features of the. I've renamed them all. I named this one a sip for good luck. He observed poorly and then rolled a d10 and got an 8, so it got an 18.
Okay. All right. Ornan, you and talking to them, and Margrim, you by observing their body language, you recognize that they are. They're eyeing the thrones. Their body language is one of uncertainty. And I think both Ornan and Margrim both realize at the same time, the Court of Fen Fog is yours for the taking, should you want it. But they are watching to see what you will do, because if you don't take it, somebody has to fill these seats. And there's 2 of them here to take it if necessary.
I have a bargain in mind.
Their eyes light up.
And Ornan pauses and says, "But I have to discuss it first with my friends. Hold on."
Oh, you're learning.
Nope. I think I might just do it, and because I was told that I'm learning. We are now the Court of Fen Fog, as you see, but we need someone to sit on the throne while we're not here in the Feywild. And I would love for that to be you.
Make a.
I don't know if you can do that. It might be one of those things where the throne derives the power just by being the throne.
Yeah, you look at, as you say that, they both glance over at the thrones that are still covered with black cloths.
I don't know much about how this stuff works.
Caperion says, "The thrones are yours for the taking, if you wish to sit upon them."
What is it worth to you? If we give you these thrones, what could you give us in exchange?
They look at each other, and Fenwick says, "A song."
Bull. I can't understand what's going on. Hey,
You
Sylvie,
can.
wouldn't that be hilarious if you had your dragon sit on one of these thrones?
That'd be so cute. What a good photo op.
As the dragon disappears and the angel says, "Farewell."
That would have been so awesome if we'd had the dragon be the new king of the... Anyway.
You would have done a good job, too.
Could you we would, if you've got something of pretty high value, I'm not sure what this song would do for me, but we might be willing to give these thrones to you.
Make a persuasion check.
I don't know if we should just be like selling thrones, dude.
Yeah, what are we, Elon Musk?
Yeah, seriously, dog.
Make a persuasion check, Ornan. Make a persuasion check.
Ornan got a 12. I'm gonna use the feature again, a sip for good luck. He's gonna take a drink of his mycelium mead and add a little at a 5, so that's 17.
Okay. Fenwick takes a big breath, lets it out, and he walks towards you and he hands you his lute. And he says, "Here, a song. That is what I have to give."
And Caperion?
Oh no, we came together.
She's like, "Oh, I'm just the woman. I'm eye candy."
Jesus.
Oh no, okay, no. She actually no. She actually steps forward and she hands her flute, and she says, "We'll give you our songs."
We're really not supposed to make deals in the Feywild. I don't know what's going on because I'm kind of out of spell slots, but like, I'm a little sus.
Ornan says, "Oh, hold on a moment," in Sylvan, and then turns around and says, "I really don't know what's happening. I asked them for something in exchange for these thrones, and they're giving me their music."
Oh wait, I do have a level 1 spell left. I did count. I want to cast Rosetta Stone so I can understand what's going on.
Okay, so you can understand. Okay. Yeah, so you kind of heard that conversation. Baldric is like, "Ornan, I think we were advised not to make any deals. Not just don't take deals, but don't make deals at all."
But what if
I don't think we can win this one. Also, what about the wild...
He says, "But that lute does look pretty badass."
what
Bass
Well,
guitar.
baby gets what baby wants.
What would happen if we sat on these thrones for a minute or two, and then just left?
I don't know that
We're jumping way back to Sylvie's memory from growing up and learning about the Feywild. You think that would connect you to the Feywild for the rest of your life, and not necessarily mean to be stuck here, but it would change you. It would
fundamentally
basically
change
make you
who you
Fey.
are. Yeah.
It would make you Fey. It would make you not immortal anymore. At least that's what you gather from the stories, because there are stories of humans or elves going across to the Feywild and becoming princesses, becoming knights, and then becoming linked to the Feywild in a way that makes them not mortal anymore.
Right. I remember there was this one story of these 4 2 brothers and 2 sisters that came to the Feywild, and they made friends with a satyr, and they became kings and queens.
Yes, and that one boy,
Mr. Tumnus,
sold all of them for the worst candy ever invented.
Turkish Delight?
Dude,
Yes, those are disgusting.
Yeah, it's so gross. Do we think that if we had control over this court, we would have control over and understanding better of whatever was possessing Jib Jab?
Make an Arcana check.
I don't know if I want anything to do with that curse.
Because, I'd rather us have it than somebody else.
I don't know. At this point, I say if we make any kind of deal, they give us the song, and also we would want a promise of eternal friendship for us and safety for our realm from the court.
I don't think we should make deals, guys. But anyway, I got a 28 Arcana.
With a 28 Arcana, this is what you recognize. You recognize that you would not necessarily understand more of Jib Jab, but you would definitely have access to the power of the curse. And with your 28 Arcana, again, a huge Arcana, you think that the actual curse of Jib Jab would be less disruptive here than it was in the material plane, just because the curse has sort of a fey chaotic essence to it anyway. But regardless, with your 28 Arcana, the power of Jib Jab's curse mixed with the Court of Fen and Fog would make the Court of Fen and Fog incredibly powerful in the hierarchy of the Feywild in general.
Yeah, dude, I don't think we can just give this to the first 2 dudes we meet.
Well, aren't we leaving?
Well, I mean, hey, these thrones are just wood. Why don't we set them on fire?
I don't think it works like that in the Feywild.
if we were to sit on the throne, you just got done saying that if we were to sit on the throne, then we would become, permanently connected to the Fae. If we get rid of the thrones, we get rid of the problem.
But
I'm not above trying it. I'm going to go see if I can set one of these on fire.
I don't understand the Feywild well, and I don't know that Caperion and Manhogany. I can't remember the guy's name.
This one's Fenwick. This one's Fenwick.
I don't know that they're the worst out there.
They're probably not the worst, but I don't think we should give a huge power that we don't understand over to not the worst guys, because they're the first people we bumped into out here.
They're like the only people we bumped into out here.
It's really
Baldric steps over and he says, yes, but they're Fey, and this is their land. Who are we to tell them how their land should be run? I mean, we're interlopers here, right?
I mean, that's true. I still don't think it's a good idea. That's my vote.
What if we just need safe passage out of here, and I don't know that I'll ever return to the Feywild.
Yeah, I hate this place. It sucks. As Guy has his flint and tinder out, trying to get a spark started on this the black covering over this throne.
Are you really trying to light it on fire?
Dude, nobody's stopping me.
Okay. All right. The air in here is humid and damp, and it's really hard to get a spark going, but you do eventually get a spark that lands on the black drapery over the throne on the west side of the room. Anybody watching Fenwick and Caperion can see that they are getting uncomfortable and antsy as they see this, and they start holding out their instruments, and they say, "We will give you a song."
Look, we appreciate your song, but I don't think that's necessarily what's best.
I say we take the deal and just leave.
Baldric's like, I say we do too, as he starts reaching for the loot.
I have one extra condition, though, Fenwick and Caperion. See, I have this mycelium mead, and I would love for you to taste some.
They look at each other, and they say, deal.
And we need safe passage out of here. And we would love to be forever considered friends of the throne of Fen Fog, under your protection.
They nod, and Caperion says, "Of course,
Sylvie. What else?
And you won't use that power of jib jabs to cause disruption in Via Silveria or any other mortal plane."
Yes, my friend says you're not allowed to use the power that is infused in here against anyone in Via Silveria. You can do your mischief here, but not over there.
Deal.
And I'd love a cool title. They would too.
Before you recognize what has happened, they say deal. Suddenly, Baldric is holding the lute. Sylvie, you have a flute in your hands that is carved of wood that you don't recognize. It has, like a scrimshaw.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
On the tusk. It's all like engraved and beautiful with vines and leaves, and it's like long. So like your flute is already kind of big compared to you. This one's like even extra long, and that's what you say as Caperion heads to the east and Fenwick heads to the north. And Guy is over trying to light one on fire still.
Ornan pours a mug for each of them.
Oh, yes. Okay. As they take a mug and they take a drink, they toast you, and then they go off and they rip back the shrouds, which are black. These thrones are old and moth-eaten, and the wood is brittle with age, and Fenwick sits in the north chair, and Caperion sits in the east chair, and the chairs suddenly burst to life. Vines and leaves start growing out of them, not in like a crazy, chaotic way, but actually just forming the throne even more so in a natural kind of botanical floral design. Two of these thrones have been taken. Guy is still trying to light one on fire over on the west side.
Well, now that they've taken the thrones, I'm like, oh, they probably have some power now. I probably shouldn't be vandalizing their throne room.
As you step away,
I carve my name into the throne.
Oh my gosh!
Which name though?
Oh gosh!
You know what? I carve Sleeve McDykel.
This may be crazy, but I think perhaps it behooves us to have one of us take the other throne, knowing what that means for us.
That's kind of part of what I was thinking. It would be a huge sacrifice. I'm not sure I necessarily want to do that, but
I'll do it.
Vernon,
Ornan, you have family still in the world that you care for. I have nobody but you guys. I will do this thing.
What? No. But you have us.
I do indeed, and I've walked the plains, and I think that my time in the prime material plane will still continue, and I will still continue to fight and figure out the resolution, but if after that time, if I am to come here to the Feywild to hold court for a period, this is not the worst thing.
It sounds like a horrible jury duty summons.
will you be able to make your way back to Kelmvar?
I believe that Kalimvor will understand. Perhaps it may bring some semblance of judgment and justice to the chaos that is the courts of Fen Fog and the Feywild itself. But maybe, perhaps most importantly, it will keep this power in check.
Is that fair to them, though, to bring order to where chaos is? This is chaos's home.
I think that of all of us, you're probably the least suited to living here. You're pretty orderly.
Well, Baldric says, I feel bad. I feel bad that they gave up their songs for these thrones. And he looks down at his lute. And he looks over at Sylvie. And he says, if one of us must stay, I have a connection to Bubbles, but Bubbles has been defeated. So I don't feel that I'm as important in this endeavor anymore.
Well, you're pretty important. I mean, who would give us inspiration?
You're junior associate. You're on partner track, my man.
He says, he looks around, he looks over at Caparion and Fenwick, and he says, I fear what little I know of the Feywild. I fear these two ruling Fen Fog, but having given up their music and what that means. I say either we all go, or if somebody should stay, I think it should probably be me.
Who wants to stay? Who wants to?
Well, but it's not like you have to stay forever. You can still come with us.
He looks over at the throne and he says, that may be true, but I don't know how I will feel once I take the throne. If it changes you.
That's right. You said that throne
You won't even like me anymore? Wow.
He looks at you and he says, how? Sylvie, that would be impossible.
What if I was a worm?
I would dig through the earth to find you. That reminds me of a song. How does the Herman the Worm song go? I was sitting on a fence post, chewing on my bubblegum, chomp, chomp. Sorry.
No idea what you're talking about.
And along comes Sylvie the Worm.
If they feel like that's the best thing, I'm not going to stand in your way. I've obviously already left my mark here on the court. if any of us take the throne, all I ask is that you make sure that signature becomes like part of your throne, remains part of your throne.
Baldric, are you sure that you're willing to take this sacrifice?
He looks at Sylvie and he says, it's a bigger sacrifice than I ever thought that I'd have to make.
So is the relationship open? I don't understand. I want to know what the terms are, just for Sylvie's sake.
Oh, okay. I like, are you like trying to move in there?
No. I just want to make sure Sylvie doesn't have like an angry boyfriend later when she meets someone else she likes.
I don't think we really need to worry about that at this moment. But yeah, no, we're definitely open to seeing other people. I mean, if you can't go to the Feywild or not.
Okay. Baldric takes Sylvie by the hand. And he looks at the rest of you and he says, it's been an honor and the adventure of a lifetime. And I hope that here in the Feywild, I'll continue to tell the stories of what we have accomplished. And if there's a way, which I'm sure there is, I'll let you know I'll let you hear them. But Sylvie, he says, a moment, please, with you.
Baldric.
And he takes you off to the side. Oh, yes.
As he's leaving, I'll say, Baldric, you got this, you son of a bitch. And I'm going to give him a bardic inspiration.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Baldric comes over to the throne on the west side of this throne room with Sylvie. And he kind of peels back part of the curtain. He looks at it and looks at the throne underneath. And he looks back at you, Sylvie.
You're going to give them such great music.
He looks at the flute in your hands and he says, hopefully a piece of my music and their music can continue on with you in wherever you go. And if I have any power to do so, I will leave the way open in that hut in the swamp. So if you want to come and visit me, then that'll be a path you can take.
Maybe when this is all over, I'll come back and we can get the band back together.
I would like that. And then he spreads his wings and wraps them around you. And you and him are in this cocoon of solitude.
Tanuki skin?
As you are finishing up here in the throne room, you see Baldric pull back the black curtain of this throne. And as he sits on it, you see it as well starts to form. It doesn't grow like the leaves and plants like the other ones did. Instead, it grows, the wood is carved out, and you see like a musical staff is carved into the back of the throne. You can see a treble clef, and you can see some quarter notes and some half notes. There's even like a coda and a DC al coda. I'm throwing out everything I remember about about music. You see...
Can the coda just be Sleeve McDykel?
And then you see that after the throne takes this form, you see then a few little leaves start to pop up on his throne, and you can see that the two other thrones, that they start to take their shape starts to change, as well as all three of these thrones now are working together to rule the Court of Fen and Fog. Baldric sits on the throne, smiles, and waves goodbye as you leave the throne room.
Real quick, Ornan gave them some mycelium mead. I want to know what happens with that.
Oh, I think, honestly, that with the mycelium mead and them getting the throne and them giving you their instruments, that it was a fairly even trade. They enjoy it more than you think that they were expecting to. I think that's about what happens with the mycelium mead. And they are now, I'll say this, you do get the impression that even though you were making a deal with them, and it was kind of like a bargain, you feel that not just Baldric, but potentially all three of these are potential allies moving forward. You sense no hard feelings, and you don't get the impression that, okay, that deal's done. Now our business is over and done with. You feel like there is a relationship now that you guys have created with the Court of Fen and Fog.
We broke bread or broke wine.
And titles? Did we get fun little Fey titles?
Well, I'm technically the Quartess of the King.
Yes. You are now Sir Ornan, Knight of Ivy and... Why was I going to say Ivy and Lace?
Oh,
sexy. That is
Knight
hot,
of Ivy and
Ornan.
Lace.
I'm really going to have to change my outfit.
Yeah, you know what? Yes, you guys can have titles. I'm gonna have to think of them though, because Knight of Ivy and Lace is I don't know. It's a little something.
I'm pretty sure if we looked up Knights of Ivy and Lace, it would be like a 1970s porn.
Oh,
The best kind of porn.
maybe.
Yeah, featuring Sleeve McDykel.
Yeah.
Sylvie, Magram, Guy, Ornan, and Annalise, as you leave the throne room.
Can my title be Sir Hardwood?
You can't get more names. You gotta stick with Sleeve McDykel.
Yeah, you are Sir Sleeve McDykel now.
Ah, damn it.
And you can say that one without having to be deceptive, because now that is your title. So I will let you use that one anytime you want to say a name that's not your actual name without having to make a deception check.
All right.
There you go, Sleeve McDykel. All right. As you guys leave the throne room and you head back down the stairs past the bedroom of one of these monarchs of Fen and Fog, you happen to move through. It's either Fenwick's or Caperion's room. You see that the bed is different. It now has the posts of the bed are instead they're shaped like trees. The canopy over is actual leaves. You see that there are instruments adorning the walls, and it doesn't take too much contemplation to realize that had Baldric not stayed, those instruments would not be available here. Like, they were literally willing to give up music to have these thrones, and Baldric staying allowed them to keep their music, which
What a good guy.
you recognize was very important to them. When you met them, that's what they were doing, was playing their music. Sylvie, you hold this flute in your hands. You move down into the courtyard. You can see that a lot of the ivy and the moss and stuff is starting to recede. The castle is just a little bit brighter. The castle itself looks cleaner. The stone is a little bit brighter, a little bit whiter. It is still nighttime as you move through the castle, and as you move through the banquet hall, the water is still covering the floor, but it is less brackish. You see that the Bullywug Bard is sitting at a table by himself, eating some food and having a drink. And as you walk by, he looks a little bit glum, but he kind of holds up a drink to you as you walk by, and you leave him in peace. He is the only surviving of the frog folk here. And you move back down through the tunnel out and back onto the swamp ponds in this little rowboat, heading back towards the Swamp Sisters' hut. As you paddle, the sun starts to come up, and as it comes up, you see in the distance the house, the Swamp Sisters' house, is there. As the sun rises over the horizon, you are able to dock the rowboat, you tie it up, and you venture back into this home that once you ventured into, and I at one point was calling it the Roadside Inn. As you guys move upstairs, you find the portal, and here you are in the Feywild. Is there anything you want to do before you leave, or are you guys ready to try to go back through the portal to Via Siberia?
Get me out of here.
I've never been more ready to be home.
Yeah, this place sucked. The only thing I'm going to do before I leave is take a dump.
And maybe a long rest. You know, maybe we could sleep for a little bit.
I don't want to sleep here. I don't know. For some reason, I get the impression that we've already stayed way too long.
Okay. So, Ornan, I'm sure you pull back out that ring that has the eye on it, and you touch the portal. You all hold hands as you move through the portal. You feel like that feeling of water on you again, but you don't get wet. It's like only where the line of the portal hits you feels like water, but once you're through, you are dry, and there is no residual wetness. As you come through the portal, everything is dark and black. There is no light, and you feel a flurry of, I'm going to call it memory, but it's not really memory. It takes you a second to recognize that as you walk back through the portal, time flies through your head as you catch up to where you are now in reality.
Oh no.
As you are moving through this barrier, Sylvie, you feel time flying through your head. You can feel almost like wind rushing past your ears, and you realize that you are not in the Swamp Sisters' home at all. It is dark down here, but it's starting to get a little bit brighter. And the walls are stone, old stone, heavy stone. You look up and you can see the ceiling is vaulted, but still feels heavy and foreboding as it presses down over you as you look to the left and you look to the right, looking at your new home. You glance over and you make eye contact with another spirit, a small spirit, smaller even than its older brother. You see a young Kenku, and Ornan, you look over and you see this spirit of this aged elf, and you recognize Jingles and Jib-Jab are both now together beneath the chapel of...
That goddamn spirit didn't guide me like I asked.
Oh, man.
You are beneath the temple of Kalimvor in the city, the town of Oak Road. And this is what I will say. Jib-Jab, you recognize that when you appeared, a voice spoke, and it said, "Ah, the third. Welcome." And Jingles, you've been here now long enough that you recognize at the far end of this vault where the solitary tomb sits, the candles that are always lit back there are burning just a little bit brighter now that Jib-Jab is here. And they were a little bit brighter when your angry older brother showed up a few days before.
Oh, man.
Guy,
Yeah.
you are moving through this portal. You feel the wind, you feel the time, you feel what should be memories rushing through your brain, but your memories are all just black as everything is trying to catch up to reality. And suddenly in front of you materializes into a door that you push open, and you realize that the door knocker seems really high, and then you recognize, no, I'm just short because of course I'm short. I'm James, the halfling comedian and entertainer. You push the door open into this modest home that you've been renting rooms in. You enter quietly. It's been a long night of entertaining over at the local pub. You put on a great show tonight. Not a dry eye in the house. Everyone was laughing when you wanted them to and crying at the songs that you sang. Everyone, you had all of their attention. You tiptoe in, not wanting to bother the mistress of the home, but as you come around the corner towards the staircase, your first footfall hits that bottom stair, and there is a creak, and you know, oh, she heard. As you glance over, you see her sitting in her chair. And you nod and say,
Oh, I didn't realize you were up. I'll be off to bed. Don't worry. Good night. Don't busy yourself.
As James walks up the stairs, every second or third step creaking under his weight, you don't bother looking back at the woman sitting in this chair in front of an empty, cold hearth with sightless eyes and a smile stuck on her face.
James sucks.
Magram?
Yes.
As you are moving through this this portal, this vast expanse of time, days, weeks, months, there's something familiar about this with your near-death, post-death experience that you had. However, it is different because there is not a any memory of what happened during that time. It's this very strange phenomenon. But suddenly, as everything is dark, there is a little bit of light. And you look around as you move along this cobbled street. You are wearing this thick cloak covering you. You have your hood pulled up over your head, knowing that this cloak is hiding your impressive armor. And the sleeves are extra long to cover the gauntlets that you have that are powered and ready for any danger that might come. You pass by a building. You see that these streets, it's dark. The streets are lit by torches, but all around you, there's this sort of bluish glow everywhere. And as you walk along the street, you see there's houses on the left, but as you look to the right, there's just a banister that overlooks, as the hill drops away, and you look out and you see in the distance the deep, dark, underground lake, and you look up to see the ceiling of stalactites hanging down from the cavern's high roof. And suddenly you all stumble back into the Swamp Sisters' hut, even more decrepit and gross than you remembered when you first came through. The first thing you notice is it is bitingly cold.
Shoot.
When you went through the portal, it was autumn, and now it is frigid. You know that the Pythria Barony is pretty far north. I mean, it's far north, and here, the further north you get in the Pythrian Barony, the closer to the mountains you get, and the colder it often gets. As you assess where you're at, you look out windows, you move out of the building and look out to see.
Oh no, Duchess!
You see.
He goes running out the front door looking for his horse.
As you run out the front door.
One follows.
Yeah. You see that the ground, when you were in the swamp, sometimes it was hard to tell where ground and water were, but it's much easier now as snow covers most of these small little islands and the waterways are easier to spot. Except you don't spot one thing very important. The Lady Hawk is gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Man.
That's where we're going to stop for tonight as we enter back into Via Severia, the Pythrian Barony, and at least some time has passed.
You think pirates stole our ship? I think it was probably pirates.
Oh, man.
I thought of a title for Ornan, if you're okay with it, Paul.
Yeah. Tell me what it is. I want to hear this.
The Grand Duke of Questionable Decisions.
Of questionable deals.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for playing. This was a lot of fun. I am going to
It was
miss
intense.
Baldric. That was intense.
Yeah.
That was intense. Well, guys,
you
hey, don't forget.
You holding up, Sabrina?
And you almost killed me in 2 hits.
I know.
You did a lot of damage to me.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
2 turns.
It was
2 turns. She almost took both of us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the crit. Well, the crit with that hug is it's like 96 plus 5. So anyway, okay, well,
The damage before I reduced it by 4 was like 10 shy of my max HP.
oh my gosh.
Holy guacamole.
Well,
dude.
this will be a fun one to talk about in your neighbor's potatoes. But don't forget, if you want to hear that, go ahead and become a patron over at Patreon, and you can hear your neighbor's potatoes. At a certain tier, you can actually get access to the wiki. You can see the maps, and you can hang out with us on Discord. We love chatting with you guys, hearing your theories and your excitement over the episodes. Also, there is still the project that I have been working on moving forward that we're hoping to get some community involvement and hopefully it should be a lot of fun. So more info is going to come out with that very soon, and that will come out first on your neighbor's potatoes. So Patreon content first. Anyway, until we get together next time, we hope you have a great time.